class is I'm trying to tell you with all the stuff that we talked about, the ending of the old world and the building of the new world. You're the new world rulers. You are the new world rulers, and we have to be prepared to rule the world. And so the spiritual course is so important because that's what's going to give us our edge. And it's all the things that I talked about just now when I said that when we go dark, when we go into our secret place, we refine the unseen, and that's what's going to give us our advantage. When we look at all of our ancient ancestors, the one that we love the most, that overcame the most insurmountable circumstances and armies, there was always something spiritual or metaphysical that they were able to tap into. Yeah. Of course, we like to always talk about Haiti because that's one of the most prominent examples, even though there are many, even here in the United States, dealing with American Black Maroons. Yes. But we know Haiti became free and beat the brakes, not only off of France, but several European armies. But what happened before they did that? Weren't they outnumbered? Weren't their weapons and guns bigger and greater? They tapped into their spiritual rituals. And when you tap into the divine, when you connect to your supernatural powers, beloved, that is what's going to cause us to rule the world. And this is the reason why so often the powers that shouldn't be cause us to demonize our own ancient rituals and call them demonic, while they secretly work these very rituals and tell you it's just this blue-eyed, stringy-haired man that died on the cross 2,000 years ago that's going to give you power, when there's way more to you than what meets the eye. So that's what my mastermind courses are, understanding that if you want something you never had, you've got to do something you've never done. And I heard a lady say one time before that information changes the seasons of your life. Information changes the seasons of your life. And we know that the old ancient prophets said that people perish for lack of knowledge, not lack of money, not lack of access, not lack of resources or any of that, but lack of knowledge. So the type of knowledge you have changes your entire condition. And so when you move properly spiritually and get the knowledge that you need, it's going to absolutely change your life. So I'm in the business of actually transforming you, because when you transform you, we're going to have the results of the sun. The planets revolve around the sun, baby.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
The energy in which the sun emits causes the planets to revolve around it. And so I'm simply saying that because we're going to grow in our vibration and our frequency, is going to cause everything else around us to adjust to accommodate us. And that's what this is about. And to put us in position to have true high-level intelligence. I hear a lot of people talk about AI nowadays and the threat that it could be on our way of living. I hear a lot of people, Brother Rich, and I'm almost done, talk about a lot that goes on with information. But when we look at the government, you know, information is so powerful that it's classified. Certain types of knowledge, isn't it?
Yeah.
Certain types of knowledge, if you leak, Eric Snowden, we'll put you behind bars. Knowledge is so important that the average public can't get all of the information. And you have to be sanctioned. You have to have a certain level of clearance to get certain knowledge. And when I was researching classified information in the US government system, they determine classification based on the damage that information could do to national security. It not only can create and bless, but as they say, when it's in the wrong hand, of course, we don't trust the government with nothing because we know that they, you know, trip. But we're talking about theoretically, the notion of intel. But there's a certain type of intelligence. You know how I started the broadcast today talking about Joseph? Remember, Pharaoh of the day was looking for a certain type of intel, and all his high-level Harvard graduates couldn't come up with the answer. You see? So Joseph had an ability to tap into the highest level of intel. That's what the Vicki Mystery School is about, is giving you certain high-level information that's going to bypass time, space, and transportation and give you the edge. Give me 12 months, and I promise you, you won't recognize yourself. And what area will this help you in? Every single area of your life. Real low cost. Go to VickiPlanet.com, and thank you so much for letting me plug that.
No, definitely. I definitely advise people to go VickiPlanet.com. You have a unique gift that's way beyond logic. Like your energy, you got a powerful energy about you, and very inspirational. You like ignite, you like wake up people's DNA when you start talking. So yeah, I know the school is going to be off the hook. Much success to you with that.
Thank you.
Yeah, definitely. Always a pleasure having you on here. tapping in with you with the spirituality.
Yes.
I'm gonna get to now we almost at the 2-hour mark. Give me a question, family. Give me a question from the chat before we get out of here. Let me see what y'all talking about in the
Yes.
yeah, give me a question, y'all, for Vicki before we get out of here. Want to at least take one from y'all tonight. I had to get mine in. That's why I ain't start the questions early.
No problem.
We was just flowing. We was having a good time.
Yes.
Oh, somebody want to know, are you doing the angel calendars again?
Such a good question. I'm late for the new year, but I decided this time that I was going to do it for the true cosmic new year, which is around springtime. So yes, stay tuned. So this one is going to be absolutely amazing. So I decided this time, hey, we're going to do it and for the beginning of spring. So yes, so we only got what are we in January now? So in about a month and a half, you're going to start seeing posts about how you can do get on the list. Go ahead and purchase your pre-sales, and that way, when they're printed up a couple of weeks later, you'll be one of the first ones to get it. So yes.
Love it. I definitely got to get one this year. I didn't get one. I forgot to get one last year. This year, I'm definitely going to make sure I have that on my wall.
Yes.
I need to put it right here.
Yes. And just the angel calendars, Brother Rich, is actually every single month I give you a spiritual text to meditate on every single day, because you're increasing that actual frequency for the month. So it's not just a cute little angel. You see what I'm saying? It's an actual text. So every single day, that particular angelic text you tap into. I started off the broadcast talking about Joseph and some other things, and then I was given a pretty strong admonition.
Yeah, you went off. You went off on somebody. I don't know.
Yes.
I didn't want to interrupt you, but you went off on somebody.
Yes.
But
Let me tell you, that's so important. In fact, that was a part of the prophetic word that I got. That a part of the prophetic job is to tear down, overthrow, destroy, then build and to plant. You see? Back to what we talked about before, the demolition.
Right.
It has to be a bit messy at first, because that's a mindset that I had to hit for the spirituals. But Cat Williams talked about, he hinted at that in the broadcast. So, I mean, in the his interview. So that's why I felt that it went in with this. And let me tell you something. When I have those types of conversations, it's not something you want to talk about. It's when there's a spiritual mandate on you, you see, and you can't shake it until you get it off.
You're right.
And you know why? That's the reason why. Oh, this is good. You know, when you talked about integrity earlier, what causes you to do? I'm more concerned about my spiritual court and team than I am about offending. You understand the hearers, because I understand the larger thing I'm affecting when I say certain things. You understand what I'm saying? That's another thing that's so important. But it was another point that I was trying to make. But get your angel calendars. The angel calendars is not something, Brother Rich, that I read in a book. It was because of my rejection from spiritual groups and people and organizations. So I was trying to be a part, Brother Rich. I was begging. I didn't care if I was in the back of the door, the overflow room. I didn't care how much I had to pay. I didn't care how much time I had to put into it. I just wanted somebody to teach me about who I was, about my spirituality. If I saw this woman that was operating in a certain spiritual gift, and this, I wondered, how did they do that? Like, talk to me about this. I was there to sit at the feet and learn, and they didn't want me. You understand? So my mother told me years ago, before she moved here, she said, what if God wants to teach you himself?
Ooh.
That's what forced me into the darkness. And I went there so heavy, Brother Phil. My rituals was so crazy. That supernatural things started to take place in a way that was so undeniable. And it involved other people the messengers would go to get messages to me. And I would know things ahead of time of stuff. And even the tumultuous legal circumstance that I went through, the foretelling of that, the things that I was dealing with in high level people and stuff that I was doing, I was moving a certain way, because I was dealing with a whole other council and other high level officials. You understand what I'm saying?
Right,
so the information I put in the calendar is based on how I used ancient axioms as a portal. Certain stories showed me what was happening in the spirit realm. And I used that, and I kept speaking, Brother Rich, to the unformed. I started to engage with this so much that this thing took form, and these councils started to talk to me And I was moving in such heavy power. They weren't talking to me about regular smuggler stuff.
Right.
They started talking to me. Can I say this quickly?
Please do. Yeah.
Who's in the news now? And I'm not talking about the Middle East. We're trying not to say that name too much. I'm talking about Russia and Ukraine, right? For the past couple of years, Russia, Ukraine. Do you know approximately 17, 18 years ago, I was giving downloads about Russia and Ukraine, and I was telling someone that was with me then when I was doing some of my live spiritual courses, because I had a school then called the Ascension Prayer College, and I graduating students from that. I've been doing this before Masterminds Online. This is who Vicki is, and I've been doing it close to 20 years. It's part of my gift and my assignment and my contract with the earth. Brother Rich, it was so profound. They weren't talking to me about regular stuff. I was legislating stuff that was happening on the global affairs. So when I see full circle Ukraine and Russia, I was telling this person, I said, they would think, if you told people today that Vicki the spirits had me moving in this particular way to legislate for Russia and Ukraine that long ago, studied it and engaged in it. You understand what I'm saying? This is how I move, but this is what I'm talking about in terms of the supernatural entities, which they go by different names. I'm just using messengers to make it easy for people. You understand? Which, of course, that's what the word angel means also, as messengers. But there are different types of officials because there's different jurisdictions. Just like here in the U.S., we have federal jurisdiction, state jurisdiction, local jurisdiction. In the spirit realm, there are different dimensions. There are different officials. And there's clearances that we often have to have. But we need to make alliances with these different groups, and these things are happening all at the same time. So I was moving in some of these powers and energies and some of the stuff that I didn't even know. And until they start coming down and literally giving me codes, literally showing me things to come, literally having me engaged in legislating certain affairs that affects the earth right now, which is why I was talking about stuff that's happening with the UN and the things that we're seeing now with South Africa and them taking Israel to court recently. Nobody would believe me but a handful of people, because I contacted a couple of spiritual people to help me with this, that I was doing magic concerning the UN. Nobody would believe that. But that's a part of what happens when you're engaged in this other world. You'll get certain levels of intelligence. You see what I'm saying? Classified information that the average person can't get.
You ever studied remote viewing, Vicki? You ever studied?
No, I don't.
You seem like you would be good at that.
Why did you ask me that?
Because you seem like such a high level channeler. Like I told you, I've interviewed everybody, and I'm like super intuitive, like super psychic and shit like that. And you're like such a high level channeler. Remote viewing, I think you would be good at that if you really study that. That's one of those classified sciences that the CIA and they practice that they don't want the people to know about. I think you would be dope at that. Like, you know, you tapped in. You know what I'm saying? Billy Carson, he did we had a workshop on that and tapping into our ESP and stuff like that. So yeah.
I'm gonna tell you some stuff offline. And one of the reasons I do that is because one of the reasons why in the United States they say you have to have clearance, right? Because they're concerned about foreign governments and also what they can do with certain types of intelligence when they have certain information on the United States, how they can use that information. That's exactly what happens to me when I share certain experiences or tell certain levels of things. Certain people that are part of foreign entities, Brother Rich, take stuff that I say.
Oh, yeah, I know, yeah.
You already understand.
Man, listen. If I was in the CIA, I would come to get you. If I was in the CIA, I would come to get you. I'd be like, no, she on our team. Try to give her, see if she'll take a check. Try to give her whatever she want. We need her. Or I would try to pay. If I was in the CIA, I'd be like, what does she want? I'll be like, what does she want? Give her what she wants. I would see if you take the bait. I'll be like, give her whatever she want, y'all. We need her to. For real. That's
why I tell you, I'll talk to you offline.
Yeah.
I told you, I'll talk to you offline because of some information that just that's the case. I try to hit at that enough because I try to get people to see. Do y'all think that the powers that shouldn't be was fooling with me because I'm just regular fool? But anyway.
Vicki, there's one question from the people, from somebody before we get out of here. What's the best way? I want to end it like this. From Through My Eyes Beauty, what's the best way to tap into your purpose
So easy.
Before you answer that, shout out to Aquarius Maximus. She was just on the show. She said we got to be married to our purpose this year, family.
Yes.
I took that to heart, and I remember that. And I already, you know, that was already my vibe for this year. But her saying that's the quote of the year. Go ahead, Vicki. Talk. What's the best way to tap into your purpose, Vicki?
I love that, and it's interesting because one of my companies is called On Purpose Global Agency, and so my former shows were called On Purpose with Vicki. Purpose, and what does that mean? The purpose is the reason for which a thing exists. What's the best way to tap into your purpose? Is to be the purpose, is to embody the purpose. The first thing is everything we talked about today, and that's first to go within. Let me tell you something. Any area that was obscure like it was for me, because remember I told you I was trying to be a part of any and every religious, spiritual, that I was on a hunt. You see?
Oh yeah.
To find my purpose, to live my purpose, because that was something that was calling. But when the divine used my own mother's mouth to say, what if God wants to teach you himself? I went within and I just began to engage based on what I knew at the time consistently. You understand? Asking is given. When you begin to act on that, even through questions, investigation, where you sow your money, watch this, joining the Vicki Dillon Mystery School at VickiPlanet.com. Do you know that sometimes your purpose becomes more clear because you're in an environment, and that's what a teacher does. When you look in the teacher, when you look up even the word teacher, it means to draw out.
Yeah.
So the teacher is not even dictating your purpose and not even just showing you your purpose clearly. It's just something that they do begins to put pressure on it, and it becomes clear to you. So the biggest thing, first and foremost, is just even the questioning, going within, journaling, your routines, your this, and the third, it's going to happen. It's how you know anything else. And to the degree that you feel like I can't know, I don't know, I'm 30 years of age and don't know what my purpose is and the reason for which I'm intended, you're going to hear people tell you to tap into the things that make you happy, the things that make you upset. What are you good at? You're going to hear all of these types of things. The reality is, for me, I did all of that. But the greatest thing that I did, I started busting a move. I started doing something, and it became apparent. You understand? And it became obvious. You understand? And then I had an extraordinary amount of clarity. And I've got to say, as a young girl, I had it was a prophet that came to my home as a young girl to tell me a particular spiritual text that I would have impacting the nations, and some of the work that I would do, tear down, overthrow, build, and to plant. And that my job would be the job of nations and governments, and things in my life started to take that on. And I started to cooperate intuitively with those things. You cannot know your purpose, and every bit of it is not meant to be known at one moment. The biggest thing is you got to get into your spiritual lab. Any scientist knows that you have got to do what? You got to get your beakers, put your white coat on. It ain't about knowing everything, right? It's about getting in the lab and starting to do something. And over time, as you take the next step, it becomes clear. You can't get away in the earth realm, the material realm, from embodying the thing. You can't. Purpose is not just about what you know in your head. It's about what you act on and what you become. You understand? And so that's the biggest thing that I would like to say. And keep in mind, to the degree that you don't feel that you know every ounce, every this, every that, there's supposed to be some knowns and unknowns.
Yeah, yes.
They're supposed to be, that's the normal part. But watch this. To the degree I don't know, guess what I do, Brother Rich? I create it. I create it as I go along. Yes.
Indeed. Wow, Vicki, what a show, what a show, what a show.
Yes.
Amazing show. Yeah, get into the spiritual lab. I love that. I love that when you said get into your spiritual lab, family. You have to get into your spiritual lab, wherever that may be. I tell the people, my house, and I got my spiritual station where I go to do my thing. So everybody get wherever y'all gotta. That's why Vicki talked about knowing thyself. You gotta figure it out. You gotta figure it out. Vicki, before we get out of here, one more time, leave your website, contact info, Instagram, all that, so the people can follow you.
Oh, yes. VickiPlanet.com. I'm on Twitter. Dillard Vicki. I'm on Instagram. Instagram is actually Vicki X Dillard, Vicki. There's no E's in my name, family, no double K's, no Y's in my name. My name is not short for Victoria. My mama said I didn't look like a Victoria. My name is spelled Vicki. Anywhere you go, if you put Vicki Dillard or Dillard Vicki, you should be able to find me. A couple of pages on Facebook. Like I said, I'm still on a couple of the platforms like Africa Diaspora News Channel. And we're on some other things and some other announcements coming up this year, 2024, which I can't wait to share. That's in the works about where they can also watch the Vicki show coming up in due course. So the biggest thing is go to VickiPlant.com and be sure to join my email list, because my team is really good about getting out emails now. So that way you can get links to where you can watch the show when I'm on live at VickiDiller.tv and my products and services.
Indeed. With that being said, Vicki, I want to thank you one more time coming on the
Thank
show.
you.
Absolutely magnificent. I started out the year with some powerful energy. Thanks for helping me start this year out. Family, I want to thank everybody in the chat for coming on tonight, joining us. Come back tomorrow, family. I'm gonna have Red and Blue on tomorrow night, and Sunday night, Dr. Phil Valentine.
Woo!
Yeah.